A lot of UFC fans can remember the exact moment they got hooked. For some people it was the early days, for others it was legends like Anderson Silva or GSP. But for me, it all started around 2015. Right when one Irish fighter completely took over the sport, and honestly, the world. Being from England, it was impossible to ignore. This is a story of how I got into the UFC, what fights pulled me in, and why I've stuck with the sport for over 10 years plus.
Right, let's get cracking because I've got a meeting.
Back around 2015, the UFC felt like it was exploding in popularity. I wasn't someone that grew up watching MMA from the early days. I wasn't watching Pride or the early Ultimate Fighter era. It was more football and boxing. MMA wasn't really a thing in the UK. It was far and few between. But then, Conor McGregor happened. If you was anywhere in the UK or Ireland, you'll understand exactly what I mean. He wasn't just popular, he was everywhere. People were quoting him in school, people were quoting him in the hallways. You'd hear his press conference lines repeated daily. It wasn't just fighter fans talking about him.
The story will be told.
It felt like everyone knew who he was.
I'm the money fighting the male shit at all weight divisions, so fuck everybody else up.
One thing missing is a little more AC.
I think being from England made it even harder, because when Conor McGregor rose up, it suddenly felt like MMA become massive here overnight. You'd hear conversations about fights in places you'd never expect. Friends who didn't even watch combat sports were suddenly talking about UFC events. It turned from something that felt niche into something that felt mainstream, especially across the UK. And naturally, curiosity kicked in. Around that time, some of the biggest moments in UFC history were happening. You had Conor McGregor knocking out Jose Aldo in 13 seconds, which even now still feels unreal. You had Conor McGregor vs Chad Mendes, which showed heart, grit and chaos. You had Nate shocking the world by submitting McGregor.
It's a fight that must be played back.
Then the legendary rematch that felt bigger than just a fight.
He should have killed me when he had the chance, cause now I'm back and I'm gonna kill you and your whole fucking team. You and them bitch kids.
And those fights weren't just fights. They felt like events. They had storylines, drama, personalities. They made you realise UFC wasn't just about fighting, it was about moments. That's what really pulled me in.
Stop.
I just realized that if you say it to yourself and you look yourself in the eye and look yourself in the mirror and truly believe that not a man alive can beat you, then that is the way it is. And just through hours in the gym and preparation, I feel that I am untouchable right now.
At first, I would say it was definitely McGregor that caught my attention.
Who the is that guy?
Once you start watching consistently, you realise how deep the sport really is. You start discovering other fighters, different fighting styles, championship rivalries, and you start learning the technical side of MMA. Why grappling matters, how striking styles clash, how fight IQ can completely change outcomes, and before you realise it, you're not just watching main events anymore. You're watching fight nights, prelims, full cards. That's when I realised I wasn't just casually watching UFC, I was fully invested. Since around 2015, I've been following UFC constantly, through different champions, different eras, different rivalries. I've watched the sport evolve massively. You've seen new generations of fighters come through, the skill level rise, the global popularity explode. Honestly, it's been one of the most exciting sports to follow because it never stays the same. There's always a new storyline, there's always a new star rising. It's the only sport where everything can change in a split second. Fast forward to the end of 2025, it's when I decided to finally start this channel. Because after watching UFC for over a decade, breaking down fights with friends, following storylines, debating outcomes, I realised I wanted to actually talk about the sport properly, share my opinions, break down fights, discuss the biggest moments, and also connect with other fans who love UFC just as much as I do. What keeps me hooked about UFC is simple. No fight's ever guaranteed, no champion stays forever, and one moment can change everything. It's one of the most unpredictable sports in the world, and that unpredictability is addictive. And if you enjoy UFC content, fight breakdowns, predictions and discussions about the sport, make sure you subscribe because this channel is just getting started. Trust me, with how crazy this sport is, it's always something worth talking about.
With a dream and a belief in himself, and for many times I was laughed at and not believed in, but you know what?
Like, subscribe and comment. MMA, we don't miss.